What's going on, Hidden Falls Media people? We are hopping right back into another episode. I've got my man Savon here, and we are going to hop right into his digital marketing and kind of where he's at, where he's going, and what we can help him out with. In the meantime, Savon, why don't you give a quick 30-second, 60-second rundown about who you are, what you do, and what direction you're trying to go?
Sure enough, sure enough. So my name is Savon Gibson, the People's Planner. What I do is financial planning. My company is Gibson Financial Planning, and what I'm currently doing is a generational wealth tour. And what this generational wealth tour consists of is I'm going to 12 economically challenged neighborhoods throughout the city of Cincinnati from August 2020 to July 2021. And I'm doing 2 workshops a month focused on financial planning tools. So my goal is to take the financial planning tools that generally go to my clients that average a net worth of $1 million and giving them to the economically challenged neighborhoods. That way they can have the same financial planning tools to build their net worth. So what the tour consists of, it's a 4-part workshop. We talk about understanding your net worth. What is your net worth? Investing and banking Black with the largest Black-owned bank, with the largest Black-owned investment firm. We also talk about compound interest and estate planning. And I also have a stock market simulator game that I have my clients sign up for as well. So that's what I'm doing right now. And thanks for having me on, Alex, and Hidden Falls Media.
Dude, no problem. I want to hop right into it. I love where you're going. I love the mission. I love the huge educational piece to it. Especially when we talk about creating like evangelical based brands where people feel so passionate, so driven to spread the good news, right? At the key heart of evangelicalism, besides the religious part of it, is to literally bring good news. Yeah. And everything that you're doing is so based around that. I love it. I love the education piece and getting that movement and that momentum out of certain areas and pushing it into other areas of the marketplace. So let's talk a little bit about your digital marketing. Where are you at? Where do you want to go? Where can we help provide you the most value in the next 20 minutes?
I must increase my video presence. We had a meeting, me and you. It probably was a little over a year ago, and I never forgot. You said if you create video content, you can break that down into sound bites for audio content that you can also break down for just written content. So I need to work on my video content. That's it. I'm not a grab my phone and throw some quick video out there type of guy, but I need to be.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. So it's really great because you're already coming at this from a spot of, I understand my own strengths, weaknesses, my opportunities, and my threats to what's preventing me from getting there. Right. So I'm kind of the same way. I get so wrapped up in my day-to-day stuff that the last thing I remember to do is grab my phone and hop on Instagram story or Facebook story and start trying to post on that. So what I found was this type of video content, I'm really good at setting appointments and doing Zoom videos with people. And it's ironic that we're recording this during the middle of COVID and that everybody's kind of forced to come to this medium of content. So if this is a form of video content that you're comfortable with, hitting the record button on Zoom and doing it very much like this is a super strong possibility for you that could play out really well in your favor as you start to develop that video content to be able to put out, especially if you do them like this, where they're 20 minutes, you're providing value, it's a quick little burst. And from that with Zoom, the really nice thing is that when you go to export the video, it automatically exports the recorded audio too. So you don't even have to go through the extra steps of recording a podcast or pulling the audio out from like Premiere Pro or iMovie. Yeah. So it's already built into the system.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. See, I just learned something that quick.
So let's dig into that. What would a video series look like for you and for your customers? Because at the end of the day, you're doing it to help drive and build business, build brand awareness, build that customer relationship, which is exactly one of the key big benefits of social media, is the ability to create content that engages people that you normally wouldn't have that level of influence around, just because there's not enough time in the day to see everybody. So let's kind of put that together. What would something like that look like for you, where it could be a quick 10-minute burst, 20-minute burst, 30-minute burst, whatever that looks like? How do you think you could start to leverage that inside of your business today?
What I need to do is maybe generally think of 10 topics, but maybe even bring that down to 3 topics and build off of that, maybe start with, okay, net worth. How many people actually know what their net worth is? And build that out into a conversation of why it's important, what are the benefits of knowing your net worth, and what are the cons on not knowing your net worth, and how net worth builds into generational wealth, how it's the foundation of generational wealth. So I would say I need to pick some topics and speak on net worth for a whole week, tie it into the events that are going on that week or around that area, and, just do some burst and blast for a whole week on one topic.
I love that idea. Especially when you start to kind of think about the ideas of like taglines or headlines within videos. So Google owns YouTube. So let's kind of look at it from that perspective of, if somebody was looking up this information, what would they search into? What would they search into Google, or what would they search into YouTube? And how fast can we get your content to come up to the top, because it's providing people the most value? But the value can be in the title as well, of top three hidden gems of knowing your net worth, or top 3 benefits of knowing your net worth, or how to calculate my net worth, or and trying to figure out those ways to get that up to the top. So that way, when you're sitting down thinking of the content, it's already right there. It's already, what would I search into Google, or what would I search into YouTube to find this stuff? And that's what's going to allow your videos to come up to the top over time. It also will feed back to your website through organic SEO. So long term, it's a great play to start to find these things and push them up. You brought up I want to get into that a little bit deeper, but you brought up another really, really amazing point of, you're going to start doing these live events for people, figuring out a way to get those events recorded, even if it's just on your phone and you're hitting voice memo or voice record on it, to be able to record those live, not just for the benefit of you being able to hear how well of a presenter or public speaker you are. That's a massive benefit on its own, but being able to use that as independent content. So even if people can't come and see you live, posting that video, posting that audio up there, so it's generating that content for you, and other people who can't attend it in person still have access to that information.
Okay. Cool.
So let's go back and let's really start to get some of these topic ideas kind of nailed down. I love the idea of going over net worth. What do you think when you're looking at, let's say you're walking me through as a new customer inside of your business, okay? What are the top 3 or 5 problems that every financial advisor sees with most common people out in the world? And how would you start to create different video series around each one of those topics?
Net worth, setting up investment accounts.
So let's go into that one. So what benefit does setting up an investment account bring to me? How easy is it? Where can I go? What tools and resources do you know about that I don't know about as a consumer? And what makes your services with that better or different than somebody else's?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, it's the banking. Who do you bank with, and what are your investment goals? Those are the 2 things.
All right.
Go ahead.
How do I pick a bank? Video topic.
Gotcha. Okay.
Keep going.
You want me to dive in there, or are you just saying?
I'm just putting that out there, man. Just like as I'm listening and consuming that, I'm thinking of video topics for you. How do I, as a business owner, pick a bank? Right. How do I, as a young adult or young consumer that's starting to gain that level of freedom and flexibility in my life, how do I decide on a bank versus a credit union and start moving through those options, and what do those pros and cons look like for me?
Yes, yes, most definitely. Uh, from there, it would be, what is your generational goals? What are your
Mm.
investment goals? And that fluctuate with demographic, because a 20-year-old's investment goals are different than a 50-year-old investment goals. And that timeline, what does that timeline looks like per age and investing?
So let's pause right there. Investment decisions I wish I made, or investing decisions I wish I made when I was 20. Investing decisions I wish I made when I was 30, right? And looking at those gaps of ages
Right.
and
Uh-huh.
setting those up, that each gap of thing in there is now a video. So from 20, or even you can start at 16 when most people start to get their first job, looking
Right.
at how do I set this, the investing decisions I wish I knew when I was 16 versus 18 when I'm in college. Investing decisions I wish I made in college. Investing decisions I wish I made during my first real job. And stacking it out on those general life tracks that people are going down is going to be massive, because then you've got something that I can relate to. I've got
Right.
a point of reference as to where you're coming at me with.
Yeah. Yeah. So from there, what is my risk level in investing? That kind of ties back into the age as well, because a 20-year-old has a higher risk level than a 50-year-old when investing, because a 50-year-old will be pulling their uh, funds out sooner than a 20-year-old. So that's one piece there. Um, from there is what am I what type of returns am I looking for? How much can I start investing? To start investing. Am I at the point to where I'm gonna just do $50 a month, or do I have enough to where I can invest $200 a month? Living below your means to determine how much you can invest. So just understanding your income and outcome.
Mm.
Uh, some other topics definitely could be, how much should I put in my 401k? A lot of people, they hear, hey, I was told I should invest 10 to 15% of my income, and they do all of that in their 401k. And that's not necessarily the most advantageous move to do. If your 401k matches up to 5%, then you invest up to the match. And you take that other 10% outside of your 401k and you actively invest that elsewhere where you're getting a larger return on it.
Mm.
So those are a few topics.
I love that. I think there's so much to talk about around these ideas of investing and finances, because it's not something, and you hear this all the time and you see it on social media, that I wish I would have known about this in school, and that school didn't teach me this. They taught me how to prepare for a test, or they taught me how to take a standardized test. So what level of education can you start to bring towards the common group, which is already what you're working on, which is phenomenal. I love it. And I think as you start to develop content, what you'll see a lot of is people will start commenting of, wow, I wish I would have known this when I was blank years old. Okay, well,
Right.
that feeds back into what we were talking about of tips or investing tips to know in your early 20s, right?
Right.
Then they're telling you what type of content they want you to create. They're telling you what they want to see more of and how to start going deeper with it. I think that's a massive opportunity for you as you start to move forward and start to put this out. So I want to be able to hold you accountable to it. So what type of pace are you looking to put something out with?
I should have at least 10 videos by the end of this month.
All right. So what's your social media channel for people to hold your feet to the fire, man?
So on Facebook, I'm at Facebook /Gibson Financial Planning. On Instagram, you can catch me at Instagram /Gibson_Financial. on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Gibson Planning. LinkedIn, Savon Gibson, and my website is SavonGibsonSenior.com. That's SavonGibsonsR.com.
And I'll link all those down below, and I'll also put them up on the screen so people can see them.
Okay. All right.
So if you've got like a quick, like 2-minute fire, like if you're giving somebody one piece of advice, they run into you at a coffee shop and they're like, man, like what can I do today to really impact my financial future in the next 10, 15 years? What would that be? What does that look like for somebody if they get 2 minutes of your time at a Starbucks?
Find out what you can cut off. Is it cable you can cut the cord on and go to streaming platforms? Would that pull out $30? Could you cut back on the Starbucks since we're meeting at Starbucks and go to Speedway? That's the difference of $3 a cup, you know? Or can you do Starbucks at home? Can you go spend $100 on a machine and make Starbucks at home? So now that $100 is an investment because you're spending more than $100 a month on coffee at Starbucks.
Right.
So how can we pull more money out to invest for the long run? You know, what is your current investment strategy? I will pull out an investment calculator and say, okay, you're 26 right now. I'm 40 years old. Just imagine if you took, this is a conversation I had, if you took that stimulus check that we got, that $1,200, invested that, and then added $200 a month from the time you're 26 to 40, and I'm just throwing out a number, you'll have $153,000 at the age of 40. What could you do with $153,000 at 40 years old? That business you have in your mind, that property you're looking to purchase, that land you're looking to purchase. Could you do that at 40 years old? Could you fire your job if you had $153,000 at 40 years old?
Wow. Man, that's powerful. Savon, man, I've absolutely loved our conversation. We're going to wrap this up. Any final moment of wisdom for him?
Most definitely. So definitely keep a lookout for me. My website is www.SavonGibsonSenior.com. I am the People's Planner. My business is Gibson Financial Planning, Growth, Freedom, Prosperity.
Love it. Thanks for being on today, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Alex.